Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Frankly FM84. Thank you for joining me on another video right here on YouTube. So in today's video we are going to be looking at a striker who I think you can pick up on the cheap, plug into your team, and he's going to go and have a fantastic career at whatever level that you can sign him at on FM22. Now we all look for those players like a Benjamin Šeško or a Lorenzo Luca. They're going to be the spearhead of your attack. They're going to score the goals. They're going to propel your team to win leagues. They're going to get the accolades for themselves, for the goal scoring. But you can't always find this kind of player in every version of the game. But I think I've found one that is a hidden gem. He's hiding away up in Scotland. And today I'm going to show you how he gets on in his career. We're going to start him off at the age of 17, keep him at his current club for a few seasons, then move him on, gradually move him up the divisions, up the difficulty level to see how he gets on as a professional footballer across his career. If my suspicions are correct, I think this player is a little bit of a hidden gem that you can go and pick up, plug in your team, and he's going to score you a bag full of goals. Let's jump into the game then and have a look at the striker in question. You might have seen him from the thumbnail. It is Johnny Kenny. He is at Celtic, and let's have a little look at him. Here we go then. We have loaded up a fresh save of Football Manager 22, and we have Johnny Kenny right here on screen for you. We can start off by just running through his profile. You can see he's Irish with no youth caps. He's 17 years old at the start of the game. Valued by Celtic at 150,000 to 275,000. Only a breakthrough prospect. Against Celtic's team, he has a 2-star ability and a 3-star potential. But looking at his stats, you can see there is a player there that you can take and mould. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a specialist in terms of abilities and potential abilities and ranges and those kinds of things. I read on one website that he has a potential ability of 40, but I'm not sure whether that's from the start of the database or whether it's the updated database. I'm using 21.4, so he may be different in every save. If you get a high end range of him, he may go on and be an absolute world beater. There are a chance though that you might pick up a bit of a dud, so it might not work every time, but he's always worth a look because I haven't yet come across the dud version. It always has come to my clubs, especially in the rebuilds. If you haven't checked any of them out, you can go and have a look and see how he performs in some of them. Also, we're going to show you how he gets on here across his career. But back to Johnny Kenny. Looking at his stats then, so he has good dribbling of 12, finishing of 13, first touch of 12, passing of 11, penalty taking of 12, technique of 12. In the mentals, good bravery, composure, concentration, determination, off the ball flair, work rate. And in the physicals, he looks like he's good to go from the start. He's 6'1" in height. He has decent strength at 10, can be improved. Stamina of 12, pace of 13, natural fitness of 14, balance of 13, agility 13, acceleration of 14. He starts off the game with a fairly ambitious personality. He has 2 player traits, so he likes to try and beat the offside trap. In fact, that's just one, isn't it? Just that one player trait, likes to beat the offside trap, so there is a chance that you can play him against a high line and he will have success running in behind. So, yeah, as I said, he's a raw ball of talent at the start of the game, just 17 years old. You can see by looking at his career stats, he has moved to Celtic in real life in the January transfer window. He came from Sligo in Ireland. In their first team, he had played 32 games. He scored 11 goals. He caught the eyes of the Celtic scouts. And I think he is a player who has a bright future in real life. But in Football Manager, he's flying under the radar because he's popping up in these saves where I'm doing the rebuilds. And we're 5 years in. And all of a sudden, this Johnny Kenny is scoring goals for fun for some good teams. Certainly for Celtic, he scores goals anyway in Scotland. So starting off at £3,000, he has a contract till 2026, so you might be able to get him quite cheap at the start of the game. If not to buy, you can always loan him and then put that future fee in. Either way, he's well worth the pickup, and we are now going to jump forwards to the end of his Celtic career. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a couple of seasons at Celtic. We're then going to move him on to the next team before another team, and then we'll show you at the end of his career where he ends up and if he has become any good as a footballer. So let's make the first jump. Let's show you in the future how he will play for Celtic in the first part of his career. Let's have a look at the first part of his career then. So we have kept him at Celtic for the first 3 years. You can see it's the 8th of June 2024. He's now 20 years old. He has the 5 under-21 caps for the Republic of Ireland with 1 under-21s goal. Still a breakthrough prospect, but we have just kept him and locked him in, and he has been playing games and scoring goals. You can see he has adjusted his ability a little bit, 2.5-star current and a now 4-star potential player, again against Celtic's first team. So that is however good their players are, is how good he will be. Star ratings, I'm not 100% sure how accurate they are in the game, but that is roughly how you work out how good of a player he is against what you already have. So the important thing then is that we jump forwards, but what actually has happened since you've been away? Let's have a look at his career stats then. So in that first season he signs for Celtic, he plays 35 league games and scores 17 goals. He then plays 36 league games and scores 21 goals. 35 appearances, 29 league goals in the 23-24 season. So it's gradually getting better and better as he's building as a player. No longer is he like a child striker at 17. He's now 20 years old. He's developing and maturing in Celtic's first team. You can see that the average ratings are increasing as well, 7.07, 7.15, 7.49. If we break it down in terms of overall games, in the first season he played 53 games and scored 30 goals. In the second season, 44 games and 25 goals. And then in the third season, 51 games and 37 goals. So, as I said, if you're looking for a player, and it doesn't have to be Celtic, I'm not 100% sure which kind of levels he will play at, whether he would move to a championship team, but he may be a player that if you can get him on loan at a championship team and he starts doing well, I think he will plug in there. For the next step of his career here, we are going to actually move into the Premier League. We're going to send him to West Ham. We're going to see how he does when he's playing with a better squad. Obviously, West Ham are, in real life, a European place team. They're roughly around 8th position, so hopefully he can go in there and have that kind of impact. But we're going to see how he does in the Premier League, and then again later on we will move him and we will follow his career. So let's jump forwards again. Let's move him to West Ham and see how he gets on in that second phase of his career outside of Scotland. The second phase of his career then has now been completed at West Ham. He is a Premier League player. You can see that it is the 8th of June 2027. Johnny Kenny is developing as a footballer. Unfortunately for him, West Ham have a higher calibre player than what Celtic do, so he's only now rated as a 2-star ability, 2-star potential ability. But at the age of 23, he has been exposed to Premier League football. There are some stats that are improving, but the overall stats aren't actually going up. He still has the same bulk of stats in the technicals, the mentals, and the physicals that he had before. He has learned no new traits despite being in Premier League, and I thought that maybe getting him into a bigger team might have started to develop those stats quicker. Actually hasn't, but one thing I can tell you is he's become a full international. He's played 5 games, didn't score a goal, but have a look at this in terms of the goals that he has scored. If we go to his career stats, you can see that since he has been at West Ham, 36 games, 15 goals in the first season, 36 games, 14 goals, and 38 games and 16 goals. So even though the step up in football has taken him to the next level, his average ratings have actually come down to 6.88, 6.83 and 6.91, but he's scoring goals in the Premier League. And for a player at the age of 23 to go and break into a team that's not an elite team, he's scoring a good amount of Premier League goals. I mean, if you look at his average at the moment, he's played 248 games in club football and scored 123 goals. And his overall career average rating at the moment is 7.05 in terms of league games. If we break it down in terms of what he's been doing for West Ham across all games, so he played 40 and scored 18 the first season. The second season he played 44 and scored 18. And the third season he has played 59 games and 35 goals in all competitions. So even though he has only scored 16 Premier League goals, you can see that looking at the continental games, which I believe they played in the Europa League, he played 14 games, he scored 13 goals, with another 6 coming in the cup games. So he is a player who, even though he is rated as a 2-star ability and 2-star potential ability, he actually scores goals wherever he goes. And at the second point of his career in the Premier League, he's now scoring goals at the highest level. So the natural progression is to bring him out of England. He's played in Scotland, played in England at the top flight. We're going to give him a big money move to Real Madrid and see how he gets on in Spain. Can he keep up the form? Can he keep on scoring goals? Again, the stats I don't think are the important thing here. There is a player in here. He may not look like one, but for whatever reason, ignore the stats. He's just going to score you goals. But can he do it in Spain? Let's jump to Real Madrid and find out. For the third part of his career then, as I said, we have now moved him out to Spain. Looking at the player, he's 28 years old, so we are 11 years into his future. Still those 5 caps for Ireland and no goals, so he's not really progressing in terms of international. Looking at his stats, he's not progressing either. It's one of those where I think he's a player, like I said, just you ignore the stats and just have faith in the fact he's going to score you goals because he's a hidden gem. He may not be developing in front of your eyes, but when we jump to the tab that is important, when we go to the history and career stats, look at these stats in terms of playing for Real Madrid. So it's not going to really blow you away, but remember I was saying that this is a player that we don't know his potential ability or his current ability. I don't know those key factors of how good he could be. This may be his lower end, it could be his higher end, I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that to the eye test, this kid scores goals and he does it a lot. Look at these stats for Real Madrid then. So played 37, scored 23. The next season played 36 league games, scored 21 league goals. The following season he played all 38 games and he scored 33 La Liga goals. He won himself the Golden Boot in Europe this season in the 29-30 season. For a player with those stats getting Golden Boots, that's quite impressive. He then had a bit of a down season, 35 games and 12 goals, before coming back in the 31-32 season, playing 38, scoring 25 goals. Average ratings read 7.16, 7.15, 7.24, 7.01 and 7.15. So the step up to a bigger team with better players, training facilities and everything going with it. He has developed as a player, but you just cannot see it in terms of the stats. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the truth about a player. There must be something written into Johnny Kenny that says he will score goals if you can get him the ball. I mean, if we go back and look at over those stats again, so 53 games, 32 goals in all competitions in 27-28, 28-29, 55 games, 36 goals. 53 games, 43 goals he scored in that 29-30 season. The 30-31 season, he played 46 games, only scored 16, so again, that was a bit of a down season. But 56 and 39 in the final, which gives him career stats at this point of 432 league games played, 237 goals. So he's a 1-in-2 striker at this point. And he's scored goals now in the Scottish Premiership, the Premier League, La Liga. What else do you need to see? If you can get this kid and you're not an elite team, maybe if you're a Championship team or you're in a, say, a second division, you are going to be getting a player who is going to score goals. If he can score goals at an elite level, he's going to be scoring goals at a lower standard of football, and he will probably score even more. However, that one season there, 33 goals in a single season in La Liga is quite impressive. And yeah, if we go to the history tab and go to milestones, you can see that he was the European Golden Shoe winner in that season. 29-30, he beat Sergio Camelo and Gabriel Jesus with 33 goals. They only got 25 and 24 respectively. He scored 66.0 in the Golden Shoe. And Johnny Kenny, for whatever reason, may not look like an absolute out-and-out striker who's going to get you goals. But look at the numbers. They don't lie. He scores goals for fun. So it is now 2032. He's 28 years old. He's coming to the end of that elite part of his career where his peak is going to reach, and then he will start to decline. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring him home. Obviously, he's Irish, so home would be Ireland, but we're not going to do that. He's already played for West Ham in the Premier League, so we're going to give him another crack at playing in the Premier League. Can he do even better when we bring him back? We're going to transfer him to Manchester City, the powerhouse of English football. We're going to see how he gets on. This is going to be quite interesting. They have some big name players in Dusan Vlahovic and Erling Haaland for him to compete with and play alongside. So can he do it in the final stage of his career? Let's bring him back to England and see how he gets on with Manchester City. Here we go then, Johnny Kenny for the final part of the video and his career. He's going to be a Manchester City striker. Back in the Premier League, can he live up to the hype? Can he do better than what he did at West Ham? Remember, he's now a better calibre of footballer, even though those stats do not say it. Penalty taking is up to 16. I don't remember that green being there before, but in terms of his stats, he looked exactly the same as he did at the start at 17, which probably isn't a good thing. You may think, not too sure about this, but you've seen some of the numbers already. He's 31 years old now. Let's see what he has done since he has been at Manchester City then. So we bought him back for the 32-33 season for £5 million. And in his first season back in English football, he scored 25 league goals from 35 games. He then played 36 games and scored 27 league goals before, strangely enough, in the 34-35 season, he scored 39 Premier League goals from 32 appearances. Absolutely dominated the league with a 7.11 average rating. And some of the stats that he's pulling at this point in his career at the age of 31 are better than they were the first time he played in the Premier League, even though he's like much older. So looking at the stats across the seasons as a whole, so in the first season back in the Premier League, he played 52 games in total, scoring 34 goals. Played 54 games and 34 goals, and then that final season, 47 games, 52 goals in all competitions. He absolutely lit it up, was on fire in that final season. So again, this is an absolute bargain player. If we go and look at those transfer fees, so Celtic, I don't know if you can buy him straight away, but you can loan him and then put that fee in. West Ham, we paid £10.5 million for him. Real Madrid 14, and then Man City at 5. Not out of this world transfers, but a player who is going to score you goals regardless of where he goes. If we look again at the career stats now, 535 games played with 328 league goals. It's absolutely baffling. A player who does not look like he would be scoring that amount of goals. There must be something in there for him to live up to this kind of potential. Again, I don't know what the potential is for the player in terms of the hard coding of the game, but sometimes the numbers will lie, because this is a player who probably shouldn't be scoring the amount of goals that he is. But if you get him, I can't guarantee he's going to score you goals, because that is just silly. You just don't guarantee things in this game, because again, that range of outcomes is large. But looking at it, if you go and look at some of the rebuilds that I've done, he pops up here and he pops up there and he scores goals everywhere he goes. I think this is a player who flies under the radar in FM22. Go out, sign him. Let me know in the comment section what you think of Johnny Kenny as a striker. Are you impressed with these stats first and foremost, or is this just a little bit of a above average player who just looks like he shouldn't be this good? Let me know. That then is Johnny Kenny, and we have just simulated across his career to find out how good of a footballer he can be. I personally think he's flying under the radar. I can't think of anybody else in the FM community who might have mentioned Johnny Kenny, certainly in terms of looking at Wonderkid lists or Wonderkid videos on YouTube. I don't remember hearing the name. He first popped up in a rebuild that I did, and he caught my attention. I think that there must be a range of outcomes for him. I think the first time I came across him, he was at his high end because he was scoring goals. We brought him in and he was able to play at a high level. In this one, I'm not 100% sure how good of a range he has, but he's scoring goals for fun. I mean, that season at Manchester City right at the end just says that if he can score goals for Manchester City at an elite level in the Premier League, he's going to do it regardless of where you can get him. So just go out, pick him up, plug him in your team and see what happens. Again, let me know in the comment section what happens when you sign Johnny Kenny in FM22 in your save. Also, let me know who you're playing so we can gauge how good he is and how good he can be at what teams. Right then, I'm going to start wrapping this one up. If you're still here and you're still listening to me, firstly, thank you very much. Secondly, you're either very interested in Johnny Kenny or you must be considering hitting the like and subscribe button because you want to help the channel out. I appreciate everybody who's took the time to do that. The journey on YouTube has been fantastic and I really appreciate everybody who took the time to help out. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Either go and check out another one of my videos on the channel or I'll catch you on another one another time.